So, I wanted to read this thing I found online to you guys. Because I wanted to explain I guess, I don't know if it's my view on all this or whatnot. Anyways, I wanted to read this article. Now, keep in mind, I don't typically read, I was checking my email, and, those little side articles that are, on the side, I usually don't pay attention to them because they're really it's just a form of advertisement. Usually those articles are full of crap. But I saw this in the corner of my eye, and I finally came to the realization of something. I'm going to share this with you guys, and the person, in my opinion, is just irrelevant. But the whole point of what I'm going to talk about today is the culmination of all this crap. The article says Brody Jenner apologizes for All Lives Matter police shooting comments. It says here Brody Jenner is apologizing for arguing police shootings have nothing to do with race and saying all lives matter. It goes on to say, I normally don't speak about this type of stuff, but this is just ridiculous. I can't even watch the news anymore without getting pissed off. It has nothing to do with race, white, black, brown, or any color. And it goes on to talk about this, the whole issues going on with, police and all that. And, this article just made me sick. I mean, it's sickening. It's disgusting. The reason why it's disgusting is because, he says he apologizes for saying that all lives matter. The very fact that our culture has stooped down to such a low level that we don't even value our own lives anymore. That's lower than any. I mean, shit. Fecal matter has more importance of its purpose than what this culture has decided to lower itself to. Because at least with shit, it goes into the ground and fertilizes the nutrients so that plants and things can grow. This is actually saying that we don't even equal shit in its value. Because it goes on to say that people are upset because, we don't go along with, or certain key people don't go along with this brainwashing, communistic ideology. To the fact that we can't even agree as a society, as human beings, we can't even agree that human lives are important. It just made me sick. And like I said, I don't pay attention to these articles because most of them are bullshit. But this it's just sickening what is happening to this country. And so that's why I wanted to talk about the collapse of Western culture, Western society, Western, there's everything regarding Western pretty much. Because it's very sad, actually. It's nothing, we always talk about we hope everything just kind of goes away so that we don't have to deal with it anymore. But unless you're just an unfeeling sociopath, this does have an effect on you because it's going to affect you one way or another. What happens in the world. But the fact that we have stooped down to such a low level of what we value anymore, no fucking wonder MGTOW is growing. No wonder these guys don't see the value of making such an investment to either have a family or to have kids or to even be in a relationship or to even have sex with women or to even go out in the society and participate, because anybody with a bit of intelligence above the average can see that this kind of crap is destroying people's minds, and it's destroying life as we know it to an irreversible damage. You know, this is how bad things have gotten. The Western culture has actually recreated racism in this country. Artificially. With this Black Lives Matter bullshit. And it's even gotten lower to that by what I was talking about in this article, where you actually have to apologize that you as a human being, your life has no value, and neither does anybody else's. And if you don't, then you're socially ostracized. You know what? I'm going to make this into a rant video because I just can't take it. I'm so sick and fucking tired of these people. I hate social media. It has destroyed people in every facet that you could imagine. People don't have the ability to communicate anymore. People don't look at you in the face anymore. People have just lost their fucking souls. People are soulless. People are lost. All this fucking bullshit, this Facebook, this Instagram, this Twitter, all these artificial fucking senses of reality and all this bullshit has completely destroyed this fucking world to a point where we don't even believe lives matter anymore. Good fucking God, people. I mean, how sick are we really? How sick are we really as a people that we actually are even remotely allowing this to happen, regardless if it's fake or not? Why is this even a fucking issue? You know, like I said, no wonder MGTOW is growing. Because we can see that the fucking ship is sinking right before our very eyes, and the water is now at our waistline. It's now at our fucking waistline. And we better do something about it quick for ourselves and maybe other people that see the waters also around their waistline too, and we're all looking at each other going, we got to do something. This is not okay. If we don't move, then we're going to drown. And I think a lot of the MGTOW guys are in the same boat, and we see the water is all on our waistline, and we're getting the fuck off the ship because the vacuum is going to suck us. You know, whenever a ship sinks, it creates a vacuum. And that vacuum and anything on top of it will bring the ship along with it. So let's say, for example, if you're standing at the bow of the ship, right, and you let it sink, it's not like you can just swim off after the water, after the boat sinks. No, the vacuum of the whole ship sinking and all the water around it pulling it in, because it's such a high mass, will suck you into it. You can't just swim out. Because whenever a ship sinks, it creates a vacuum. So everybody on that ship can't just swim off after the ship sinks and then swim to the surface. The vacuum will pull them down along with the ship. This is the exact thing that I see going on. If we don't get off the ship that is sinking, the vacuum is going to suck us along with it to the bottomless pits of the ocean. You know, let me tell you something. I've gotten to a point now in my life. I have studied and did so much research on the modern socio-political issues and socio-psychological sociological issues that I see in this world with the feminism and the gender issues and the gender war and the politics and the government and this and that and this and that and this and that. There's nothing left to really talk about anymore. We all see it for what it is. We all see it for what it is. There's no need to explain a burning building. We all know that it's on fire. I'm afraid we're getting to a point now, if things keep going this way, guys, I'm at a point now where it's about to be every guy for themselves. It's about to be every fucking man for themselves very shortly. It's coming to a point where it's about to be every person, every man for themselves. The reason why I say that is going back to the analogy of the vacuum with the ship. If other people are panicking on the ship, and they don't know you have to get off the ship, then they're going to be sucked down with the ship. You can tell people and try to get people to wake up and go, look, the ship is fucking sinking. You got to get off the ship. Or you're going to be sucked in by the vortex. If they're not, number one, willing to listen, and they're too panicky, then you're going to sit there as the water keeps rising, and you're now going to get to a point where you can't get off. This is how I see this whole notion of trying to wake people up, trying to get people to realize that what's happening around us is that the ship is sinking and we better get off. I've gotten to a point now where, like I said again, it's getting to a point where it's every man for themselves. Either you know what's going on or you don't. And we're about to get to a point where there's no return. Point of no return. We're getting real close to it, I'm telling you. If not, we've already passed it. I think we have. So what am I trying to say? Honestly, I don't know, because there's so much craziness going around, and there's so many people arguing different points and different arguments about how they think something is either right or wrong. All of that is irrelevant at this point, I think. Because all the planning and all the thinking and all the theorizing and all the, theories that we've tried to come up to best analyze what's been going on in this whole world and what's been going on with culture and women and the gender relations, it's almost become irrelevant, because before the ship was starting to sink and we still had the ability to try to get things, maybe steer the ship in such a way where we could get on a little bit higher land, it started to sink to a point where there's no return. And I'm using this analogy because it's the best way I can try to describe this. And at some point, you see the water goes over the bow, and the whole half of it's sticking up out of the ground. You go, fuck this, there's no way this is going to work. Maybe if there was some water leaking in, and maybe you could shut off a valve or repair a valve. But you have to do that before the water gets to a point where the weight starts to pull it to the ground. It starts to flood the ship. But if you don't do that, then water is going to keep pouring in, and you're not going to be able to fix the problem. This is how I look at the society and the culture of Western society, Western culture. We are a ship. We did not fix the repairs when we should have. The water has already come flooding in, and it's time to get off the fucking ship. And when I see things like this where I just can't believe it. When you have people that actually get upset with you because you're not going along with the narrative, or you're not going along with what is the norm and what is considered what everybody's complaining about. And not only that, that's irrelevant. The fact that we've actually stooped down to such a level that we can't even agree that each other's lives matter. When shit hits the fan, my goodness. Could you imagine being around people like that? They're not going to help you. Obviously, they don't care about other lives, so why the hell would they help you? This is why I said it's getting to a point now where it's almost every man for themselves now. Either you get the information and you learn what's going on, or you're going to be pulled down with the ship. You're going to get caught up in the delusion. You're going to get caught up in the bullcrap that's been artificially created. And that vortex is going to suck you down along with it. And not only that, everybody else around you. So I just wanted to talk and get this out of my head, because I just can't, it's so disgusting, and it's very sad. It's very sad to see that we've gotten down to this level. I don't know how first of all, like I said, I think I mentioned this in previous videos, but politics, it's the fact that we're still relying on other people to dictate what happens to our lives shows you that the brainwashing and the years and years and years of brainwashing and indoctrination, it's at a point of no return. I don't know how in the world some political person is going to fix this problem. They're not going to. They're not going to. That's not their job. Their job is to ride the wave until it crashes, or until it destroys everything around them because it benefits them. This is part of this narcissistic culture that we live in, where it's all about yourself and fuck everybody else. Now, that is important to take care of yourself to a degree. It is important. I'm not saying that that's irrelevant to be taking care of yourself and doing everything you can to improve yourself. And I certainly wouldn't blame you, especially what we see going on today in the society, where people don't even care about anybody else. Yeah, why should you try to help them if they're not even willing to help themselves? Then the only case is to help yourself, because the point of maybe trying to help other people is irrelevant because they don't want to help themselves. And if you're trying to help somebody who doesn't want to be helped, you're just wasting your resources, you're wasting your time when you need to be getting the fuck out. It's like somebody who's stuck in a car and the car is beginning, like if they drive into an ocean, right? And they're in shock and they don't want to get out of the car. And they say, if you don't get out of the fucking car, you're going to drown to death. And they don't want to get out of the car. And somebody's trying to help them, but they don't want to unlock the door, because they're afraid that the person is going to punch them in the face or something. It's ridiculous. So on a final note, I just wanted to get that out there, because I wanted you guys just to see what detriment we are in, and why it's so important to plan out at least the best that you can. Plan for what you see going on. I think anybody with 2 bits of common sense can see that this culture is dying in a very quick pace. The ship is beginning to sink, and the vortex is going to suck everybody out who's on that ship or around that ship, who isn't prepared to get off of it. And so that's all I had to say, and thanks for listening.